better than them. They work hard just as hard as you do, so why do you deserve more?
Do you know what I love about the debate that I just had with millionaire Charlie Mullins? It's that it's the perfect example of how Brexit completely turned UK politics upside down. Because this was Charlie Mullins just 7 years ago. He was massively anti-Brexit, so much so that the campaign that I ran considered using his company, Pimlico Plumbers, as a potential donor. And yet earlier today, he and I were going at it on BBC Radio 2 because we could not be further apart politically. He wants to build a country that works for billionaires, whereas I want one that's equal. And that's the thing about Brexit, because while obviously it was the main flagship policy of the right, specifically the far right, for years, there were also many people on the left who thought that they could use Brexit for their own agenda. You know, the whole idea that the EU is some big capitalist club that works for big business. And that's why certain sections of the left believe the EU was their enemy, because they believe that socialism simply wasn't possible within EU rules. While those on the right saw Brexit as a way to get rid of human rights and all the pesky EU regulations that tie down corporations. But the problem was, and all the politicians knew this, because the leaked government documents showed this, that every single way that they could possibly do Brexit would have made people poorer for the rest of time. Because Brexit, by definition, means us, as an island, damaging our supply routes with the place where we get a third of our food and do most of our trade. So how politicians responded to Brexit was never really about left and right. It was about whether or not they could see past their own political agenda and think, oh no, that objectively, no matter what we do, will just hurt the UK. It doesn't matter what kind of UK we're trying to build, that'll just make the UK worse. Which is why there were even some conservative politicians who just said, no, absolutely the fuck not, I'm not betraying my country for this. And Boris Johnson literally fired them for doing so. So Brexit acted as a political sieve, getting rid of any politician that had a shred of decency to them. And even people who didn't have any decency and did not give a crap about poverty in the UK still opposed Brexit because they knew they had to live on this ship too, and Brexit would poke holes in it. Which is why Brexit was such a weird moment in UK politics.